Yep, go on.
Simon, clubs faking injuries of players to avoid drug testing on game day?
Well, that's information that I've got no idea about. This policy is an AFL policy, it's an AFLPA policy, and it's led through a medical model. So you're asking me questions that I have no line of sight over, and it's something that I've never really thought about, to be honest. I just back in the process of what the policy is, and these are questions you're going to have to ask the AFL.
So were you surprised to hear that this is taking place or has taken place?
Well, it's news to me, so I think it's a surprise to everyone in the industry because there's no line of sight for me as my position as a head coach. I haven't got a line of sight on what that policy looks like. So I understand the policy, but I don't get the information that people would expect to get. So yeah, it's news to me.
You say you've got no line of sight on it, but is the sort of question you'll now ask, just does this happen to any Melbourne player?
Well, I think it's a question we have to ask the AFL about what the policy looks like moving forward. It's not for me to have an opinion right now.
Yeah.
All I do is I get the information that I'm required, and the policy says that it's information that should remain confidential. So it's not unexpected that I don't have the information because that's the way the policy is designed. So it's something that you will have to ask the AFL. I'm sure it's something that they'll give full clarity on, and we can all move forward.
Have you ever
Does it make you second guess the information you get from your own doctors if there's this idea that they'll tell you one thing and something else might be true?
No, not at all. I think when you start to digest the information that you get given, you just take it on face value. And as I said, this is a process that the AFL, the AFLPA and the club doctors put together from a confidentiality perspective. So to have no line of sight is not unusual, but I've got enormous trust in our doctor in terms of them being able to do their job. So I'm not going to question how they go about their business.
Do you understand that any player who's a laid out or an out, whatever it is, there's going to be the suspicion now that are they actually injured or are they just being withheld for other reasons?
I think that's information that the AFL will be able to give clarity on moving forward. I think this is new information that we're all sitting on at the moment and we're all starting to digest, and we've only just got this information as of 12 hours ago. So I think as we work through today and the AFL provide some more information, I think we'll be able to build some more clarity about what it looks like moving forward. But I'm not going to speculate on what that will look like until we get all the information.
I know we don't want to harp on this too much, but in terms of, I know you can't give us what you know, but you said it's new information. Has there been a suspicion, though, bubbling under the surface with this policy in the background from a football perspective that this is going on, but it's just not in public view?
I can only talk from my perspective, and I've never questioned anything that sits in that space. I've never thought about it, to be honest with you. And to be honest, my job is to coach the footy team, and that's all I'm focused on. So I've never actually had that thought, that process, and it doesn't really cross my mind on a week-to-week basis.
And on the illicit drugs policy, I mean, you sort of used that before, is it being reformed, and is this the sort of change?
I think that's not for now to have that opinion. I think once we get more information about the process and more line of sight about what it looks like in behind the medical model, I think then it's the time to have a bit more of an informed opinion on what that might look like. But I don't think today, 12 hours on from getting new information, is the time to have a really good opinion on that.
Is it difficult for you at the moment, Simon, and the club dealing with some of the former staff and some of their stories that just continue to arrive? Is that a difficulty and challenge that you are dealing with right now?
No, as I said, this is more of an AFL thing we're dealing with today. In terms of former staff, I've got no real opinion on that. This is an AFL policy, an AFLPA policy, and led by the club doctors and the people involved. So that's where it sits today.
Goody, you said that you've got full trust in the doctor, but your former doctor is now making his allegations. What was your reaction when you saw the news last night or this morning that the former doctor is saying this about the club and about actions that were allegedly taking place when you were coach?
Yeah, obviously I don't have a thought about the ex-doctor or where that sits. As I said, this is new information, and this policy has been in place for a long time. So this is, as I said all along, this is an AFL policy. It's got nothing to do with our doctor, our ex-club doctor. This is an AFL-wide thing. So I think we need to get to the bottom of it through the AFL, and then we can have some more information going forward.
You didn't answer it before, but do you think there is any drugs contributing to AFL?
I've answered that. times in terms of the information that we get. So, as I said, you have to ask the AFL. They get the most line of sight on what that would look like.
Do you think higher people at the top of the AFL are aware of this?
I've got no idea.
And in terms of the illicit drugs policy, is it actually beneficial to have one?
Oh, look, as I said, you'll have to ask the AFL and the PA in terms of how the policy's been able to help players in the system. And they're the ones that have been driving this policy. They're the ones that have been running this policy. They're the ones that would see the success stories that sit within the policy. So they're all questions that I have no line of sight over, and you'll have to ask them and get the bigger details on it.
Will you ask the AFL?
I think every club's interested now to find out more information. I'm sure that's a given right across the competition, and we're one of those people.
But this has affected you personally as well. Like, you're the senior coach of a club that's been trawled through this mess for now a couple of years. Is it something that you'll seek to investigate yourself so you can get answers? Absolutely we will. I think every person in clubland would want answers and want understanding of how the policy works and is it a success? And we're no different to that. We've been through a bit, but as I said, this is an AFL policy, and we'll be asking the appropriate questions and getting the answers that we need.
I'll ask you a footy question.
That'd be great. That'd be awesome, actually. That's what we're talking about. I like that. Let's get Jake, the footy. We've got a big game this weekend.
Jake Lever, what will he play, or how's that sitting at the moment?
We're really confident he'll play. So he'll train today. We're really confident he'll be able to get through that session and be available for this week. So that's exciting for our club after the weekend where there's a bit of doom and gloom about having two key defensive pillars out. Jake Lever, we're really confident he'll play.
Stephen May, will it just be the 1 week, you think, at the moment? That's it?
Yeah, he'll do some running today, and that might sound a bit strange to people, but just get a guide on where he sits. But we're confident he'll travel to Adelaide with us, and we're really, really hopeful he'll play the following week against Adelaide.
So is he ruled out of the Port Adelaide game?
At this stage, yeah.
He's pretty tough.
He's tough. I'm sure if he runs today and he runs well, he'll be knocking on the door saying, "Put me in." But I don't expect that to be the case.
Is it just a pain management thing with him, that, or is it just how much?
Yeah, absolutely. Anyone that's had a crack in their ribs would understand that they are painful. Sneezing, coughing, laughing, all those things can cause you a fair bit of grief. But once you can tolerate the pain, they are things that lots of players have played with previously. We certainly won't be silly in that space. We'll make sure that he's right, he's feeling good, he's feeling healthy, and he's able to play and perform. And that's the key thing, that you can perform. We're still at the very early stages of the season, so we've got to make sure that he's right, moving forward.